I'd like to call to order the Board of County Commissioners for Jackson County, June 22nd, 2021 meeting. At this time, Ms. Willand, would you please say a prayer, and then everyone join me in the pledge. Please stand.
Let's pray. Lord, we thank you for this evening and for another opportunity for this board together to make decisions that will impact our community and for the lives of those that live here. We thank you for Jackson County. We thank you that it's our home. And we thank you that we are blessed enough to live here and take part in it. I pray over the board tonight that their hands would just, that their minds and their decisions would be before you, and that they would make wise decisions that would go on for years to come, that would be fruitful decisions. And I love you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, Ms. Daniels, the agenda.
Yes, sir. We have one deletion under section 3, number 1, which is the set of public hearing. And we have 4 additions under section 1. They are number 17, which is board approval of low bid for District 2 asphalt paving project. Number 18, board approval of task work order for capital engineering to provide CEI for District 2 asphalt paving project. Number 19, request board approval of short-term land occupancy lease agreement. And number 20, request board approval of the right-of-way use permit for monitoring wells.
Mr. Chairman, make a motion to approve the agenda with the subtractions and the additions.
Second.
Okay, have a motion by Commissioner Pake to accept the agenda with the changes, and a second by Commissioner Hill. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Consent agenda items. Has everyone had an opportunity to review them? Any questions? We have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Okay. Lieutenant Wesley Birch.
Good evening, Commissioners, Mr. Chairman. Tonight we're asking for the approval for the Jackson County Sheriff's Office for reimbursement in the amount of $5,099.83. This will come from the Law Enforcement Automation Fund. This is for GPS communication tracking devices that we use for our canine tracking team.
We'll do
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry, I did that order.
That's okay. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and do that one.
Okay.
We've got a motion by Commissioner Hill.
So hold on just a second. So we're doing number 3 on my motion?
That's
Okay,
it.
all right,
That's
fine.
one we're
Yeah,
doing.
Just make sure.
And
Second.
second by Commissioner Donifro. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Okay, now go back and do item 2.
Sure. For clarification, item number 2, we're asking for the ability to expend $28,649.13 from our crime prevention fund. We're going to use this to buy supplies to outfit our crime prevention trailer. We got a lot of events coming up in the near future. We're pretty completed.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill. Second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Okay. Item number 4 will actually be
Good evening.
Hello.
We're requesting board approval for sole source funding to Lumen in the amount of $37,242. This is to purchase installation first year of service for text to 911.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hill.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Pate. I have a question. Where are these funds coming from?
We actually have some.
It's E911 money. Okay. All right. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Rhett.
Good evening.
First up for you this evening is I have is a request for board approval of a task order for Alday Howard Reform CEI services on District 1 asphalt paving project. This will be for Bump Nose and Valley Oaks.
So moved.
We have a motion by Commissioner McKinney, second by Commissioner Hill. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Secondly is a board approval for Amendment 1 for water management grant for Indian Springs Sewer Phase 2B. What this does is shifts funds from construction from 2B to 2A to offset the over budget cost of construction.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Fake. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
And next is a board approval for change order for Southern Boulevard. This will increase 40 days for the CEI contract, and this extension is approved by FDOT already.
It's been approved by DOT.
Yes.
Okay. All right, got a motion by Commissioner Fake, second by Commissioner Hill,
Question, Chairman.
question by Commissioner Donifro.
Curiosity, Mr. Hill or Mr. Daniels, the Southern Boulevard, this is in Lake and Hills, from Nortec to Russell Road or
I
to
think the Nortec all goes into, off the, what's the road that goes to by the,
Vancouver?
yeah, it goes by Vancouver. It's also the one that goes by the, up to the club.
Goes up to,
Vancouver, but it's,
so it's a whole
it's
distance
it's
from
almost a
Nortec,
mile. No, it's not that far. It's not from Nortec.
maybe from Russell Road, then the worst part of it is back to Humps Lake Drive then.
I'm not familiar, I'm sorry.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
All right.
Mr. Daniels.
Next is approval to purchase updated SCADA equipment through Mission SCADA. This would be monitoring service for our water wells and lift stations for the utilities department.
And you're going to fund that out of your
So
utilities?
it will be a CARES eligible expense. It is a little late, but we had some issues getting, figuring out what product we were going to be using. So the total is right at $97,000. And that's with a 5-year service agreement.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Fake.
Puts all of them on the same type of
Same
system.
current, yes, sir. So our existing system was struck by lightning, so we've been out of it for a few weeks. So this will put our entire existing system as well as future phases of Indian Springs will also be on the same format.
Go ahead,
Question.
Commissioner
So,
Hill.
so if it's not on the CARES Act, what funding source is it? You said it's a late entry. Is it approved through CARES?
So
Because the deadline was December 3rd of last year. for that.
right, so the funds that were not expended that we have, they would be coming from that.
The reimbursement of salary hours. We've been reimbursed.
Okay, you have, okay,
Right.
okay.
We haven't spent all of that reimbursement.
Okay. Any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Next.
Board approval task order for capital engineering to perform CI services on District 3 asphalt paving.
So moved.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Donifro, a second by Commissioner Fake. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
All right, and last for me is a request for board to retroactively declare emergency situation in which one of our major lift stations had a catastrophic failure, which resulted in us having to call in a contractor to come in and pump out the lift station.
I have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro.
Where is that fund? 137? Did we got those?
Unused capital outlay for utilities.
Okay. Was this something we kind of expected? I mean, was it,
No.
the age of it? I just didn't know the age of it. What's the age
No,
of it? Yeah, lightning.
We really don't know what happened, but we lost controls to the entire station, so.
Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank y'all.
Okay. Hunter, hang up, hold on for 1 minute. We're going to move over and we're going to do Partners for Fit. Ms. Wendy. Public hearing.
Okay.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Do I need to,
Yeah.
we're in a public hearing.
So this is a request for a general development order for
Partners for Pets, Inc. to construct an animal adoption center and shelter. The total impervious of all buildings will be 12,612 square feet and will be installed in 2 phases. The proposed development is located on the east side of Panhandle Road, approximately 375 feet south of the intersection of Felt Street. And the request also includes a variance to section 74-490 of the Code of Ordinances to eliminate the street frontage and front perimeter landscaping. And the Planning Commission recommended approval on June 7th, subject to the conditions of the staff report. And they also recommended variance for the landscaping.
Okay. Is there anyone here for or against the agenda item? Okay. Hearing no one, we're out of public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Have a motion by Commissioner Pate, second by Commissioner Hill. Any questions? Okay, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank y'all for coming.
Thank you.
And we look forward to having you guys out there as our neighbors.
Good. Thank y'all.
Now we'll go back. Hunter, thank you, sir.
Good evening, Commissioners.
Hey,
All right, the first item I have for you is requesting board approval to waive the fees for the 144th Transportation Company Army National Guard reunion at the Jackson County Ag Center.
So moved. Second.
have a motion by Commissioner Donifro, second by Commissioner Hill. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Yeah, the next item I have is the board approval of legal services agreement or legal services engagement letter with Fuqua and Milton in connection with the new market tax credit
So moved,
transaction.
Mr. Chairman.
Have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions?
I think I've got the answer to the question.
You need to, Paul, you need to pull that mic down because Miss Sheila can't hear
Thank
you.
you. Question, these services will be only paid if we're successful in getting the tax credits, right?
Correct.
Is this in a partnership with Michelle on this? Okay.
Okay. Any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Hunter,
Okay, next item is requesting board approval of the contract for the construction of the new road and bridge office building. The amount of
So
1.39.
moved, Mr. Chairman.
have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pate. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. Real quick, what kind of timeframe are we talking on this? I think we discussed this last time. They have what,
So
6
the
months?
timeframe is going to be 10 months on this.
Okay, so, they've already got the bids out for total price, and that's including all the increases possibly? I mean, that's the bid. We have bonds on those?
Yes, they turned in they turned in a bid bond.
Good bond. Not a surety bond on the project.
Should be a performance and material payment bond as well. I'm sure there is.
Yeah, probably when they start, I'm sure they'll have to sign that. But
Typically, we like to see those before we,
Approve
Okay.
that because
but
they're not gonna be able obligated if it's not in the contract. Are we approving the contract as a whole?
Mhm.
Yeah, well, they're not, I mean, they don't have to come back to us and give it to us. I will rescind my motion on that. I'll make a motion that we accept the bid subject to the performance and bonds issued at the time of initiation.
Okay, have a motion by,
I withdraw my second
okay,
and second the motion.
okay, we have a,
you want to make sure there's a performance bond on the.
Absolutely, performance and,
performance and payment bond.
payment bond, right, yeah.
with the stipulations added by Commissioner Hill. Did y'all get that?
They just need a.
Okay,
I
the
seen
motion
look.
is
Okay, I got you.
to approve the construction, but they gotta have performance and a payment bond.
And I would assume that was, being a government project, Michelle, that was one of the requirements, that the contractor provide a performance and payment bond.
Yes.
I'm sure that's a requirement. And so the question was, have they provided assurance that they got that bond yet?
I can double check to verify, but
Okay, well, we got the subject too, so it'll
Yeah.
have to be now. So.
Okay. All right. Any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Next.
okay, so this item is going to be a report on the Jackson County Sheriff's Office building and property. So you have the report in front of you, and I can go through it now, or if you have specific questions, I can address those in the offset, but I feel like I can go ahead and just kind of run
I
through it.
would walk through the options with them.
Okay. So these are the options that we've presented as best can be expressed. The current and future projected costs of either keeping, repairing, or selling these two offices. So the offices in question are the former sheriff's office located off of Highway 90 and the new sheriff's office. And you see before you on the second page there, the different specs between them. So the current building, or the new sheriff's office building at Endeavor, is around 44,000 square feet. The previous building is around 27,000. See the age difference, the acreage difference of the properties and the value there. So the main repairs that need to be done at the former sheriff's office are the roof and the interior repairs to the inside that were damaged by Hurricane Michael. The new sheriff's office, the main repairs that need to be done are the HVAC upgrades and repairs, as well as the roof being at the end of life. So if we go back, the page that's probably going to be most beneficial for you is the last page that has kind of the spreadsheet of all the numbers that you can see in the different options presented. And I'll kind of run through each option, the narrative of those options. So the first option, option A, is to keep both buildings as is and not do any repairs to them. So if you do that, you still have the ongoing concerns of the new sheriff's office building, presenting maintenance challenges and upgrades that need to be done to the HVAC system, as well as the old building not being used for anything. So the current maintenance and utility cost of the old building is currently at $25,000, and the current of the new building maintenance and utility cost is $125,000. But if you did option A, you could keep your insurance proceeds of $220,000. So option B, if you pursued a sale lease option for the building, it would only be viable for the old office if you repaired the roof to it. If you repaired the roof, you could get up to $15 to $20 a square foot. So that would be $412,000 to $550,000. And the existing tower wouldn't be an issue with the different types of agreements. We could do some kind of simple fee lease or something so that tower could still remain property of the county. But if you did that, if you did sell it, the net gain could potentially be around $290,000. So option C, the county could complete the roof repairs and continue to own and maintain the building, used for a storage location for other departments, or potentially you could sell it, like I mentioned before. The total cost of the county under this option is $197,471.69. Option D, so in seeking bids to repair the roof, we also did the interior repair, the bid, but the interior repairs only make sense if you're going to put the sheriff back into that location. So we give you some estimated costs on this. Well, actually, the hard figures are option D. The cost of the county is $384,000 and $384,385.69 is the cost of the county if you did the interior and exterior repairs. Now, other items to consider is if the sheriff was to go back there, they would need a 911 dispatch bunker that is hurricane safe, and also the cost to relocate them from their current office to their new office, $60,000. And then we set a contingency budget of around $20,000 just to be on the safe side of any other expenditures we would have. But the cost of the county, which if you relocated without any demo, which I'll explain that in a second, would be $948,000. And then we just gave an option. So what would we do with the old building or with the new sheriff's office building out there now? And potentially you could demolish the building, or you could use it as a space for a juvenile type facility. So if you did demolish it, the projected cost would be about $356,000, which you'll see that in your option D column. If you just go down. So if you did that, total cost relocate with the demo, looking at $1.3 million. So last option, or next to last option, option E, is if you wanted to do the upgrades and repairs to the new sheriff's office at Endeavor. At minimum, looking at the HVAC repairs, $1.5 million. Then other items to consider was the roof, which is at end of life at $350,000 for a retrofit coating, a fire suppression system of $6,800, and signage upgrades at least $5,000 to make it more accessible to the public. Looking at a total of around 1.8 million. So those are the main options. And if you even want to consider an alternate option for a new sheriff's office building, similar size and spec, roughly $6 million.
Any questions?
Sheriff, if you will come up for a second, for me, please. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
So where you are now, is not fitting with a potential, I guess you call wings for better lack of it. It's causing problems for y'all. I know that I looked at the guns and storage stuff y'all had in some of them, they're all rusted because of the humidity. And so the new sheriff's office, move back to the old facility. So, that would be, I guess that option, which option is that, Hunter, on the option for the?
Yeah, option D, and that would be
D.
the cost without the demo.
You
Okay,
have to do the roof and the interior.
right, so roof and interior is 385 basically?
Yes.
How much insurance money are we getting?
So currently you're getting $220,000 of insurance proceeds, additional depreciation of $213,000. But we have a request in, since our actual cost is over the replacement cost value, to get that number a little bit better for us. But
Any FEMA money?
not on the sheriff's office, no.
So I guess, Sheriff, one of the questions I just asked you, your preference right now is to go back to the old one if you had to choose just because of the cost analysis to the milling?
Yes, sir. And when I think about this, I don't ask myself what would work best for me
Right.
or you guys. I ask myself what would work best for the citizens. Where we are, we're not visible and not really accessible to an extent. And I'll give you a prime example. Today, I was in a local parts store to pick up a part. The part wasn't in for one of our trucks. He said, "I'll bring it by." And he pointed towards the old office. I said, "Really? Where would you bring it to?" It's right down here. I said, "No, sir, we haven't been there almost 3 years." Majority of our citizens don't know where we are. Now, if we were out by the road at the Endeavor property, probably be different, but we're in the back corner. That together with the building itself, like Mr. Potts mentioned, is 44,000 square feet. I haven't done the dimensions, but I'd venture to say half of that is 6 prison wings that we can only do nothing but use as storage. And you guys have been out there, you see the results of the HVAC problem. And that being said, there's no room for growth. The center core of that building has been built out into offices. So 10, 15 years from now, if you were going to add offices, you would have to go out and build another roof. So there's not many days that pass that you guys don't have some sort of repairman there. The HVAC, there's constantly someone out there working on it. And I know the cost of that is, you've got it in front of you there. So, and like I've told you guys before, if we stay where we at, we make the best of it. But if there's an option, I think the better option, and people are served better if we're out on Highway 90.
Why is it gonna cost $60,000 to move you back?
We're talking about electronics. You're talking about moving multiple servers, the phone lines. That's not to move furniture.
Okay.
You know, one system.
Yeah, that was the big thing. We
They
just
didn't
got that
have to
5-year
because
grant.
They were putting a new system in, so they shut off one and started another. Not the case with this.
Okay.
Just, from a new commissioner's perspective, it just, the sheriff's office being out there at the backside of Endeavor, having traveled through Endeavor, and the more that facility, that whole Endeavor campus gets built out, the more traffic that's there. It just doesn't seem like it's a very good location. Trying to
Precisely.
get to where all your cars are.
I've given an example, and a couple of commissioners have mentioned, well, we can build a road going out back, Coosa Road. But the bottom line is this: if there's a call on Highway 73 North and we need to get there quickly, I'm not going Coosa Road to get there with lights and siren. I'm gonna go right down Endeavor Boulevard, right through whatever's there with lights and siren in order to save someone's life. So it's not, I agree with what you're saying, Commissioner.
And certainly not casting stones, and I don't have the decision was made, but trying to convert a detention type facility into anything else, and Hunter said it, into anything else other than a detention facility is just typically not.
Yes,
possible.
and
It's just a
the-
tough building to convert.
The building is sound, it's
Oh,
safe,
yeah.
but it's a prison.
Well, now, one thing that we did look at, this is pre-Michael, Sheriff, was, we looked out there, I think all the commissioners at the time pretty much went out there, they were gonna use I think that building is 90 foot wide, the sheriff's office, somewhere around there, because they was met with them out there, they're gonna use prison inmates to lay the blocks. I guess the spans on the trusses are 25 foot. So they was gonna do like a 24 by 96 foot hardened building, and it ran up the cost of just north of 307,000, even using the inmates. So my question to you is, and the reason that was addressed is because obviously during, emergency tornado warnings especially, and also hurricane since then, is the protection of the staff that has to be there. But I understand now we have a dual redundancy of some of the things that Jeff and their staff has worked on, that we can go out more easily to EOC and not have them stay in that facility there. And
But
major-
one thing I want you to think about is the dispatchers aren't the only ones that don't go home.
Oh, right, yeah, I
The
understand.
sheriff doesn't go home,
right.
neither does the deputies.
Right,
Everybody's
very-
there,
very good.
waiting, staging to respond.
So what size hardened building y'all thinking about? I know you mentioned our interior, y'all don't do it, try to think of what, was there?
He has the dimensions on exhibit D.
2,000 square feet.
2,000 square foot.
Yeah.
And that was a cost center is already embedded in there?
That's the cost, yeah, architects went through the opinion of cost.
How much?
You
Huh?
don't have a hard cost for that.
A hard, what,
You have an estimate.
That's basically building a hardened shell
Right.
within the existing building.
right, because I think the concrete floor there was 5 inches thick. I think they did it when they drove for Coca-Cola, obviously for equipment to be dry. So they was using the existing slab as the floor, honestly.
What was the estimate?
484,000.
Inside of a building?
Have you ever been to the old sheriff's office in the
Yeah.
back, in the bay?
Yes, but, I know that it was 300 something thousand. We
307.
decided, why would we build $300,000 in a $500,000 building? Why don't we just build one outside? I mean,
Yeah.
It might be
Because
cheap. We turned it
Right.
down.
It was a communication, I think.
There's an option F at the bottom.
it's,
You go to the legislator and get that, we'll support you 1,000%.
our buddies at FEMA said they'd build you a new one.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen.
I
I think
would
it was
look
a
at-
solution. This board did not decide to go back there. That was
Yeah, I'm
between
not
the
second
sheriff.
guessing
No, I know.
anybody's decision.
But if
Yeah.
anybody
A lot
thought
of people made in Hurricane Michael,
It was
we
a-
all lived through it, so I understand.
it was a quick
You know,
response.
when you've got
to
staff in
the
5 different
situation.
places, you do what you can to get them under one roof.
Yeah.
But now we're 3 years removed.
I would,
With issues.
I would
yes.
look at the possibility of putting a hardened building off to the side. It might be cheaper to build it.
Well, I think the crutch of that is, well, I guess you could do that for your support staff, but the dispatcher would then have to go to EOC, correct?
No, put the
Mhm.
dispatchers in it.
Well, you can, because they still got to man the 911 system. Without the point.
No, you pull the cables.
Well, that's what I'm saying, you have to run. it
Yeah,
with
you gotta run the cables and everything. I'm just thinking it might be cheaper than trying to build it inside. Because you're gonna be pouring a lot of concrete. And you're gonna have to pump it.
So
It's
is
a
this,
decision you guys gotta make.
we-
Cheaper's
we'll-
not always
we'll-
better.
well, we don't make the right decision. My question to you is this something that we need a decision on tonight? Because I'd really
No,
like to look at this
is a
during budget.
report, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's good.
The main decision, if you want to make one as far as bids go and pricing would go, to make a decision on the roof and interior, if you're gonna do that.
I think we need to go ahead and do the roof.
We need to do the roof and
Run
then,
the roof in, we definitely need to do that.
You know, because worst case scenario, I mean, even with the antenna there, the tower there, you've got options of front store leasing. I'm talking about worst case scenario, which I'm not advocating necessarily for. I'm just saying there's actually some tangible value to the building either way. So we don't need to let those proceeds, if they're set at also earmarked for that insurance.
And that was bid out. We received bids on that, so we have a bid cost.
Yeah,
On the roof and
from Kent.
interior.
Yeah, so the next two agenda items are actually the roof and interior separate. So that's things we want you to make a motion on today.
Hunter, how long would the bids be good for on
Yeah,
the
let's say-
interior?
So the interior, it's been almost a month now, and they're already starting to kind of complain that prices are going up for them. So I think realistically, we say 60 days in our bid documents.
Are
So
the interior repairs reflective of what the sheriff would need to be
Yes.
done if you were to move back?
We requested a couple walls taken out and make a couple offices bigger, but not like a total redo of the floor plans by no means.
So when you're
But
dealing,
it's not inclusive of the 911 bunker, if you call it.
I know there was some talk, Sheriff, of, at the time, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I know there was some DNA type stuff that had to be kept, refrigerator that was upstairs above dispatch on that thing there. Is there, y'all put into where y'all would store that at? I know that there was a time they had to run a generator out there during the storm because that power source had to be kept up because of that stuff had to stay at a consistent temperature in some type of refrigerator, I don't know, freezer or what. There was some.
We've got 44,000 square feet. We'll
Put it there. Okay, good, very good.
So
We need a motion for the interior
to do the roof.
and roof. I make a motion,
Oh, now, the interior, that's up to you guys.
well, the interior
We
don't
don't
need to
need
be done.
Well, I guess my question would be is, are the interior repairs are to be done specifically for your needs
Right.
if you were to move back in? there?
That's what your
That's it.
options say. If you're gonna, and that's up to you guys. If you're gonna actually move forward for us, that option gave you to do the interior as well. If you're looking at renting,
Right. And
why
Well,
would
we're
you do the
we're
interior?
in a
right?
catch-22 then, because if we do the interior, we don't do the interior now, I assure you that bid most likely will not come back in the next time. That's gonna be and I don't know what the bid is. Does it have it on there? What exhibit is it on the
Yes.
cost analysis?
So it's gonna be the next.
What
item.
option?
It's 186,000 for the interior bid.
What's the square footage on that remodel? What part of it?
27,000 square feet on the interior of the sheriff's office.
Right, but how much is gonna be remodeled? They're not gonna
The
remodel the
whole-
warehouse.
No,
Has to
not
be
the
on
warehouse, but the
Yeah, but the
27,000
Around
interior.
About 15,000 is like office space.
That'd be what, 15,000, yeah.
I thought only about a third of that building was open office space.
If you look at the route plan with
Yeah.
it's the page after that behind you. Just one page behind that cost estimate should be, that, what Commissioner Donko's looking at.
Oh, yeah.
So that red part, that's where the warehouse starts, and the shorter half of that, that's the warehouse.
Everything south of that red block is the office area,
Yes.
pretty much.
And so the actual low bid we got now was 186,000, which the next highest bid was 300,000. So I mean, the costs are, we just kind of maybe.
But the other way to look at that is right now, it seems like we're seeing higher bids than we ever have before. And some of those price pressures are starting to come back down a little bit. So there is a chance that we bid it at maybe the worst possible time.
Okay, so maybe.
Possible. So maybe,
So the roof's an important thing. I'll make a motion. We'll deal with that in a minute. I'll make a motion. We'll do the roof at this time.
second motion.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro. Any more questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
And then the next item is the interior. Do you want to reject the bids for the interior at this time?
Oh, I know.
No.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure. Well, first of all, y'all got to explain to me, because I've been in that sheriff's office many a time in the back, and most of that's warehouse in the back.
That's what I thought
I mean,
too.
yeah, I'm thinking the first 100, maybe, what's that building? I know it's 100, probably almost 100, 120 wide. Tell me the dimension. I don't know. I mean,
Where's that?
there was, when the night the hurricane hit, or the day the hurricane hit, there was 3 helicopters in that back. And I know they have a chain. Jeff, you've been to it. Yes, it comes out at the bay on that west side. All the offices are south of that bay. The bay that's on the west side is south of. I'm just trying to get cost analysis on it. But the warehouse open spot is the majority of that facility. I mean, they got chain link fence.
No, it's not the majority. I mean, I welcome you. We'll come out there.
Oh, I know. I'm just trying to think. No, I'm just trying to make sure the cost. The only reason, yeah, we can, well, we just want to get done what's currently there as far as the square footage. I just look at the square footage for a cost analysis.
The scope of work's like 20 pages, and I can send you that to.
How long do you think they would hold
Wesley,
their
come up.
bids?
I can check with them and see, and potentially we can maybe go to the one more board meeting. But
I
it
mean,
may be.
if we approve the interior bids, then we'll pretty much cement ourselves into the
Yeah,
sheriff
I'm-
moving back.
And we may see a
Yeah,
shift
correct.
down.
But don't reject it.
No, I agree.
Let's not reject it.
I would reach out to them and see if they'd extend it to start with. That way that was solidify, if we can we do that? Can we ask them to do that, and not get the other one offered?
Not a FEMA, because we didn't get FEMA money.
Yeah, can we ask that, can we ask them if they would extend the current bid, even though that might not give the other ones opportunity to? I've got to make sure on the bid.
How long is the bid good for, Hunter?
We're still within our time frame if it was 60 days.
Yes, so I can verify.
So if it's a month, already it's lapsed,
Well, how long is it?
the next meeting, we can do it.
How long is it?
He said it was only good a month old.
A month or so, we're 30 days on.
We need to be prepared to make a decision on this pretty soon.
Next
We-
month, next meeting, we gotta decide.
Decide one way or the other.
Whether the sheriff's moving to the old building.
I think we need to decide that pretty quick. To me, it seems to be a pretty simple decision, but I just, you may want
Yeah,
to.
I support the sheriff on that. I mean, I'm fine. I just want to make sure the cost analysis on the square footage is good. I just, my mind still has this.
We don't have that much invested into the new sheriff's department now. The state did.
They
They
just,
We
got
have it.
1.9, yeah, they got.
We
1.9.
have it.
Yeah.
I think some paint and some carpet.
Yeah,
is all.
you're right, that's it.
So it's
That's it.
not like we spent millions
Yeah, I
out there and
won't,
now we're gonna
won't
walk
tear
away
it
from it.
down.
no, no, no.
No, I ain't,
So what, I didn't hear what you
The
said.
state,
Governor
when they
Scott.
give,
Oh,
Governor
1.7,
Scott give them
1.7,
some,
1.7.
Yeah.
And- and
so.
Those funds.
Keep in mind, a majority of that stuff will be going with us. If we go back,
Right, sure.
Right.
you know, it'll be a cost of moving. That's at
I just don't
$60,000.
foresee me supporting demolition in that building.
Oh,
If
no,
we can
that's
find
not,
it.
no.
But if we can facilitate you there, that sounds good to me.
Is,
Let's
Mr.
take a
Potts
trip.
found it's good for 90 days until August 3rd. So August 3rd is your 90-day bid.
Let me ask, can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
Did you say of the 1.7 or 1.9 that was given to us by Governor Scott, a lot of that was equipment that can be relocated? Some of those costs?
Yes, sir. Cameras,
Yeah,
So it wasn't all,
TV,
wasn't all associated with-
wiring. I mean, yeah.
yeah.
Obviously, we can't move the paint, but
right.
they bought a lot of paint. But yeah, a lot
thought
of
we
the stuff
bought
that
paint.
was bought could be moved.
I think paint.
We
I
bought
think
paint.
Yeah, 'cause I think- Yeah,
I just wanted to say that it's not like we soaked a lot of money
Right,
into it.
right.
We're gonna walk off. It's
Well,
still our building.
it's still the building, and it still
Yeah,
has
we
its
can-
special use.
And again, the sheriff had his people in 5 different areas
Yeah.
at the time.
Oh,
that
no,
that
we-
move was
he
we
made.
made a
needed to
decision.
have them
Yeah,
somewhere.
I'm not second guessing
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
his decision
absolutely.
at all.
If we decide to move the sheriff back to Highway 90, I would hope that the board would look at possibly utilizing that building for a drug rehab
Yeah, oh, yeah.
or a
Baker
Baker Act facility. And I think there are corporations around the state that actually run facilities like that. So we maybe could reach out to them and hopefully get
They're
their
a better
interest.
use for what.
So again, on the interior, we need a motion just to, I'm hesitant on myself. I'm not hesitant on the thing. I want to see the facility. So,
You can table it for now if you'd like.
yeah, and
Red's
that's gonna
got
be,
something for
and that's
you.
gonna be my motion, that we table this to the next board meeting.
Next meeting.
And then, in the meantime, we don't show it. But I know that those two doors, the interaction, all that to the north of that is warehouse.
I
basically.
thought most of it was warehouse, but I
It's
seen
not.
another drawing that,
That was my motion.
Red, do you have a,
I had a motion. I had a second.
And
No, I just
a
had a second.
second.
Okay, that's what I needed. Hey, second.
motion by
Second.
Commissioner Hill,
Yeah, I don't know.
second by Commissioner Fate to do the roof on the old.
No.
We already
Table
voted
it.
on that.
Table
Already took
interior.
care of the roof. I'm tabling the interior.
Tabling the interior, okay. Keep up with me.
we got you.
All right, any more questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. We're tabling the interior
To next meeting.
till the
Oh,
next meeting.
Okay, all right. Is there anything you want to see between now and then?
I would like to, one thing, you said that contract, that bid that you have now is about 30 days old, so we're halfway through the life of it. Is that pretty
Correct, it
accurate?
was due May 3rd. So August 3rd, we said would be the 30, 90-day
Okay, all right, so
window.
that gives some time frame.
How many bidders did you have on that?
We had 4,
4 bidders?
yes,
Were
the
any of them
ranging,
local?
they were not, the closest was Tallahassee. That was, I think it was BGN was the closest, I think that's who would recommend awarding to.
Who was it?
BGN contractors bid on it, Oliver Sperry, Acro, and there's one other one.
I'm surprised we didn't have
There's-
some of the local bidders bid on that. I mean, that's, right in the
Yeah,
wheelhouse
don't-
of M&W and.
Oh, yeah.
Trey
absolutely.
Cook.
What is it, don't we do a 5% on them, on local contractors? I know the asphalt companies are excluded, right? Asphalt don't get it, right? I'm not sure. I think, am I right on that? I think the 5% local vendor,
That was for ship.
No, I'm talking
Yes,
about
we,
something else.
yes, we do,
Yeah.
but I don't think any of them did. So,
But you're right, the local ones can do that,
Okay, thank you, Hunter. Rhett, I think it's up to you. We got Item 17, 18, 19, and 20.
Yes, sir. Thank you. So the first one on round two is going to be board approval of low bid for District 2 asphalt paving project. So in comparison of the bid tabs, this will be for Cliff, New Salem, Dillmore, Sloan, and Christie Lane. Missy Mossy is going to be your low bidder at $1,216,917.
Okay, we got a motion by Commissioner Fake, second by Commissioner Hill. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. We're here.
Additions.
additions, okay, I got
Item 17.
I got you.
Just out of curiosity, Missy Mossy, have they done, I didn't know they were a road paving contractor.
Yeah, Roy's Feed.
Have they done?
They do smaller projects, usually underneath another one like Anderson, and they've done some on GSC.
Anderson's there.
Aaron
Or so.
Yeah.
All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
We did. We just solidified it.
All right.
Solidified it.
Next up is approval of task force order for capital engineering to perform CEI services on the District 2 asphalt paving project.
Got a motion by Commissioner Fate, second by Commissioner Donifro. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
All right, and third, we have board approval of short-term land occupancy lease agreement. This is gonna be for the Sweet Pond Road paving project where we're using private property as a laydown yard to store materials and equipment.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill. Second by Commissioner McKinney. Any questions? All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
All right, and lastly, I have board approval right-of-way use permit for monitoring wells. This is gonna be in Cypress for the old Tharp Grocery. So they're putting in to monitor petroleum infiltration.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill. Second by Commissioner Fate. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Red. All right. Under community development. We scratched number 1. Ms. Wendy, you want to talk to us?
One got deleted, right?
Yeah, number one.
Yes. We're on page 129.
129.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'll start with item 2, and that is to request board approval to set a public hearing for a petition for road abandonment by Colvin Farms LLC. And it is identified as being the north portion of Lucius Circle, approximately 822 feet in length in unincorporated Jackson County.
Let me make a comment on that. That is in my district. That goes around behind Welcome Church. The owner met with the church. Everybody's happy and everything's squared away. Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Donifro. All those in favor?
I want to ask a question.
Go ahead.
So just the church and these people own the property,
That's correct.
and
There's
it's
a
a dead end road.
It is. It's a circle. It comes off of Messer Road, goes a circle around behind the church. And the church owns the property in there, and he owns his butts up to it. And he's just closing off. He's going to put in processing sheds and equipment sheds back there. He's trying to keep some of the people that like to borrow things out, because they forget to return it.
They own property on both sides, so it's contiguous owner on both
Right.
sides. and So
Right.
everybody's in
So
agreement.
it's
Yeah,
no
everybody's-
traveling through.
Right.
They
Nope,
just-
nope, we don't even grade
We don't wanna
that
do that.
back portion anymore. Haven't been grading it for years.
That's
And
all
I
right,
guess I should
close
ask
it, man.
this, but there's we have no utilities on there either.
No,
I would assume that.
nothing. Actually, a portion of their cemetery was on his property, and he gave them that portion. So I met with the church and the deacons and everything, and they're all happy. So
So even if we haven't been grading it for years by default, I think it reverts back to them anyway, doesn't it? I thought if we maintained the road for 7 years without ours,
It doesn't work.
it don't work the other way though?
But all you're doing tonight is setting your public hearing.
Okay, right, yeah.
I would recommend waiting to really engage in discussion until you have the.
All right.
Okay.
That's fine to be here.
Okay,
So we're set.
You're setting the public hearing.
that's right, that's right.
All right. What are we setting it for?
July 13th at 9:15 a.m.
Yep, that's it.
Okay.
The reason I was asking.
All those in favor, raise your right hand.
One-
Motion carries 5-0.
I was just saying, you know,
I was just,
if we weren't gonna grant it, we shouldn't be setting a public hearing, but it sounds like everything's legit. Okay.
I don't see any reason not to grant it.
No, well, it's fine.
Okay. Ms. Wendy?
Yes, sir. We're requesting board approval to set a public hearing to consider transmittal of a large-scale amendment for Endeavor to change 320 acres from public mixed-use urban transitional and agricultural to residential mixed-use urban traditional and ag 2.
We have a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Second.
second by Commissioner Pate. Any questions?
I
All
got a
in
call.
favor, raise your right hand.
I was just gonna say, I got a call on that about, and I said, I don't know what y'all talking about. But I guess they sent out letters to all the landowners.
Probably.
Yes, sir. So they can call the office if they have any questions, and the planners would be happy to help them.
I mean, once I figured out what it was, I knew what was going on, but I did not know at the time.
Yes, sir. So we're asking to set the public hearing.
Okay. All right, next one.
Yes, sir. The next one is to request board review of the recreational vehicle ordinance and to set a public hearing for July 13th at 9:15 a.m. And yesterday evening, the planning commission reviewed the draft ordinance and recommended approval for 48 months.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Got a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner McKinney. Got questions by Commissioner Pate.
For 48 months.
Yes, sir. That was their recommendation to have it's like a temporary with the option to.
This is just a public hearing.
I know,
Oh, okay,
but
okay,
that's something we ain't heard of. 48
So,
months. Well, they did that.
They just recommend it. That's what they're recommending. So when y'all do the public hearing, you either tell us tonight if you're interested in putting that in there or not.
For
But
48
so
months, is-
otherwise.
Oh, I'm not.
48 months from what?
Yeah, temper, I mean, they're,
All right.
it's 48 months. They recommend we do it for 48 months.
On the RV?
And that is
Yeah.
not what we intended to do. So,
We'll straighten it out.
Okay.
So you just tonight say you make a motion to set the public hearing with the ordinance as is in your packet, which does not have the 48 months language in it.
why didn't we know about that?
The planning commission met last night. So it's not in your packet because it was already printed. So you just set a public hearing with the ordinance as it's in your packet.
All right, all those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
Thank you.
Next,
And the last item is a request for board review of the landscape comprehensive plan amendment and to set a public hearing for July 13th, 2021 at 9:15 a.m.
So moved.
a motion by Commissioner Hill,
Anything else? Second.
second by Commissioner Pate with questions.
Surprise.
I was just going to say the planning commission met last night and recommended approval.
Okay, any more questions? All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0.
I voted no.
Yo, you voted no.
So
Okay,
now set a
4-1.
public hearing?
You don't want to set a public hearing?
Oh,
Okay, very good.
Okay.
All right,
Thank you.
thank you. All right, we'll do roundtable. Where'd the sheriff go? Well,
for you,
just
man.
tell him we cut his budget. If y'all got anything you want to share with us.
on the SRDs. We've been kind of working week to week, school resource deputies. We've had overwhelming support with people wanting to apply for those positions. So far, we've moved forward with a little over 65, 66% of those positions, with several more that are kind of going through the background. So we anticipate being able to fill all those positions by the start of the school year.
What about your deputies? Are you at full strength?
Depends on how you look at it.
Well, either you
Kind of-
got all you need on your list. or you don't.
We're, because of the way we came in and kind of the way we had to allocate some funds during this part of the budget, we had to hold a couple of positions. We have people that we anticipate are going to fill those going forward. And right now we have, don't quote me, but I believe we have 5 that are entering into the field training officer program, and we're hoping to have them all on the road solo by the end of the summer. Is kind of where we're at.
Y'all doing pretty good with personnel.
Yeah, we've been busy.
Very good. Thank you, Wes. Michelle. Ms. Daniels.
I have a couple things. One, I just wanted to recognize that Mr. Dylan Bass is the new Executive Assistant and Public Information Officer. And so we're glad to have him at admin assisting us. I think he's going to do a really good job with the public information part. I'm so excited to have him on board. And then with Mr. Lee Anderson's permission, I wanted to read for the public an email that he sent us yesterday. Ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to express my gratitude to both the county and city fire departments for their efforts during some very inclement weather Saturday night. It was reported to me that both departments showed up to a fully engulfed structure on Donna Drive and worked diligently to contain the fire before it reached the main residence. Firefighters also stayed to ensure that the structure was completely contained with no chance that it would reignite at the request of a very concerned party. As it turns out, the concerned party was my father, and the residence that was spared was my own. My wife, daughter, and I were out of town visiting family when I got the call that my shop was on fire. Within 10 minutes, I received another call that both the city and county were on site and the situation was under control. Despite what was lost, I cannot express how thankful my family and I are to still have a home. Please pass this along to those who braved the weather to help a neighbor in need, as I want them to know how grateful we are for their actions. Let them know that Lee, Amy, and Peyton Anderson all slept comfortably in their own beds last night due to their heroic acts. I am extremely humbled by the actions of the county and city, as well as several of my friends and neighbors. There is truly no other place I would want to live and raise my family, and cannot put into words how lucky I feel to have the opportunity to do so.
Very good. Thank you.
That's all I have.
That's it? Mr. Donifro?
Yeah, just a couple of quick items. Union Hill Road, is Rhett still here? You and I talked about that. I went back down there today. I had another call. If you would, get by there and see what we can do about cleaning those asphalt gutters out and that flume that goes down to the retention pond. And then I also had a call about a ditch, and I have not gone by and looked at it. It's on Old Greenwood Highway in the vicinity of address 2964. She says when it rains hard, the ditches actually are not handling the rainwater, and it's causing her yard to flood, but I have not put my eyes on that yet. That's all I have.
Commissioner Hill?
Back to you, Red. If you can give me a list of the 4177 on line where we're at on that, and also the shady the small project, and also the Blueberry Drive FEMA project. I don't have an update on that.
So we sent back the estimated cost was higher than what they allocated, so we had to send plans back to FEMA and then approve the additional construction cost.
Right. Did they say about how long?
They make their own timeline.
Okay.
Commissioner, do you have anything else? Commissioner Pate?
Okay, last weekend I got a call from a lady in Georgia, and
We don't work her roads.
she said the roads are fine. No, she had a little it wasn't a situation. Yeah, it was a situation. She had rented the Citizens Lodge and for a reunion, and she was supposed to go pick up the key. Well, she forgot to go pick up the key. Made calls, and Brett's team, I think Heather Williams and Brian Mercer, took care of the situation, and Heather made a trip to the motel to deliver the key to her to keep from having the disaster at her family reunion. And she called and wanted to thank Heather and Brian and Rhett for their, their service, and they done a good job. And I told her I would bring that up at the meeting.
Thank you. Anything else?
That's it.
Commissioner McKinney?
Well, I had something earlier. I spoke with Red about Browntown Road, update on that project. I mean, just want to look at that. And also the application process. How are we coming along with, for putting the applications out at the Road and Bridge?
So we had a previous stack of, I think, 8 or 10. I had a plan to have like a field day and have them come out and run some equipment, kind of see how they handle stuff before we gave them the job. And that didn't work out too well due to some liability issues. So we called today, double check which one's on the job, and trying to get some start dates for about half a dozen.
Good.
That's all I
Anything
have.
else? Clay?
I don't have anything.
Danielle? I have one thing. A couple of years ago, I met with J.R. Mooneyham and down in Grand Ridge. There's a problem with Findlay Avenue at Findlay in Florida. And that's where the school buses come out, and agreed that I would try to help him with repairing that section of the street. Well, things are so discombobulated. What I would like to do, he's got a contractor to come in and do it. I would like to use $5,800 of my discretionary funds to help him do the repairs. I have a motion by Commissioner Hill, second by Commissioner Pate. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, and that's all I have.
So he will invoice me for $5,800.
I will get with him, yes. Make sure he coordinates with you, Danielle. Yes,
It's good to see Apostle Johnson here again.
yes, she did come in early. Okay,